And she'd be like, all right, skip this page, and this page, and this page. You can read half of this page, but skip the next two. And I'd be like, well, what's happening? And I think I'm old enough to read them now. So I'm going to. And I'll get to see what Sophie is doing in the comics.
Okay. Girl, all the way in the back.
After filming all day, do you ever go home and feel yourself acting like your character?
Who?
Any of us?
Oh, any of us? No. Are you crazy? What makes you think that?
I mean, I guess I kind of did, but on the day that I died, because I came home and I'm like, whoa, I just died. Like, what's even happening?
I feel dead.
I know, I was thinking, like, me and Penny were both thinking kind of like, what, did I just die?
I think by the time you get home, you'd be so tired.
Yeah.
You know, you just be ready to go to sleep. If anything, you might be thinking about your lines for the next day. That's about it. Or what time you got to get up and get to the set the next day.
You know, there is spillover sometimes when you've done roles for, well, it's 3 seasons now, or 2 seasons, or even 1 season, 7 months. You know, any actor, you know, sort of, you develop these characteristics for certain characters, and sometimes every now and then you find yourself eating with your hands. So, yeah, it spills over.
But most of the times when I go home, I'm thinking about sleep. Sleep is a beautiful thing. You're beautiful. Thank you.
Girl, all the way in the back row. Yeah.
Yes, because I'm a big horror fan. But I never really started watching the show until I found out that I got casted into it, because I was gonna start watching it when it came out, but then we were afraid that we were gonna get too hooked on it. And then when it got into the middle of the season, we were like, you know, we were gonna start watching it, but then it was already in the middle of the season. So we couldn't, so we decided, you know, we're just gonna wait until a marathon comes on. And then I got casted, so then I started watching the show, and it's amazing. And even though I died, I still love the show.
Honey, you really didn't die, it's okay.
I know, but I mainly started watching it because, so I could see my character, and then I got hooked on it.
Okay, we're going to take a few more questions. Right here in the middle.
So, since opposites attract, we see a relationship between Earl and Sean.
Earl and Michonne already have a relationship. You can see it if you watch closely.
Over here.
She turned me down. Sad.
With the yellow shirt.
Poor Merle. No action whatsoever on that show. I know.
Say that again?
Most challenging scene for who?
For me, probably during the hair brushing scene, and and the roast beef, the flesh was roast beef, and it was pretty good, but you know. But then again, it had food dye on it, and I kept on having to spit it out because it got too full, and I was just sitting there, and I had a bag over my head, so that was kind of tough.
Oh God, You know what I like to do at the end of these things, Mr. Moderator, is get about 10 or 15 questions, real quick ones, and everybody just answer real fast. Just
Okay,
a little
that
like a
sounds great.
2 or 3 word answer. That's so much fun. You want to try it?
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
All right, Chris?
How big the show has gotten? Any talk of a feature-length movie?
No.
Yes. Maybe.
Yes.
Right here in a cowboy hat?
For Michael and Denai, are you satisfied with the character development, and would you change anything if you could?
Are you satisfied, hon?
Yes, I'm just seeing the entire picture as I can see it, which you guys can't fully see yet. Yes.
I'm satisfied. I don't think I'd change a damn thing.
Okay, right here.
How do you guys really feel about the character development?
He sucks. Next.
Over here. Go ahead. You had your hand raised. Ask a question. You.
What?
Well, okay.
Louder, hon. Louder, brother. Because you're such a badass, how do you play that role, Mama?
How do you play the role or at home?
How do you play the role?
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the stage, give it up for the one and only Scott Woo!
I made it. Just in time. Just in time, brother.
Okay, thanks everybody. Good night now.
See, it took him a while with that bad leg.
So your question, honey, was how do we play the roles of Merle and Michonne because they're badass? Is that what your question was? Really, I mean, it was, to me, I mean, I think we both, you know, have some aspects. I have a tough girl in me and he has, I don't know what that is in him. So, I think there's kind of that aspect of us naturally, but there's, you know, also really connecting to the circumstances of the character, you know, and who they are, what they've been through, I think really allows you to see the world through their eyes. And in that regard, you know, at least I can say for Michonne and probably Merle as well, they don't imagine themselves ever losing a situation. And when you think of yourself as always someone who's always going to get where you need to go, and you're actually going to, you know, conquer the thing in front of you, it kind of just, it develops a certain level of intensity, I think. But
And
really,
also, you know what? You got to go with what the script says. Usually, the script gives you all your basic givens, and then you go from there. And a lot of it starts off with how would I do this if this were me, you know? And basically, you know, I'm a badass sometimes. Really, I'm a nice guy. I'm a nice person, right?
Of course you are.
Yeah, I'm a nice guy.
Okay, since Scott just
So it's all
arrived,
acting.
since Scott just arrived, does anyone have a question for Scott?
No.
Okay.
You know who said
Where the
that?
hell you were? Hey, where were you, boy?
Right here.
Keep shooting with that shotgun without real, like, how many bullets did he have?
Throw a leg back. Do you have to question that?
Okay, right here. Go. No.
What's that?
it prettied up my cell.
I guess it was.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
No, I asked if she kept the cat statue that she took last.
Oh.
Okay, who else has a question? Right here. Your hand raised. Right here with your hand up. Right here. Go ahead.
Louder.
We can't hear you.
We don't memorize lines. I don't memorize my lines. Oh God, no. I get the lines and I go, oh God. And then I ask the writers to rewrite them. Yeah, that's it.
I don't have lines. You know, I just froze.
What's the question? Do we memorize lines?
Of course we do, yes.
What Kylie just said.
Okay, right here.
For me.
Go ahead.
No lines.
Ask your question. We didn't hear what you said.
What's our favorite zombie movie?
Favorite zombie movie?
Night of the Living Dead.
Mine is relatively new. You probably aren't gonna like this, but Warm Bodies. I thought it was the cutest thing ever.
New movie that I'm working on called Live Evil.
Yeah.
Zombie movie.
Like Shaun of the Dead.
I kind of dug the original 28 Days Later.
I don't watch zombie movies. I don't. And I wasn't into horror. I was a scaredy cat, and I only watched The Walking Dead because I got the audition. However, I loved it once I watched it because I thought it wasn't about the zombies. It was about this amazing world of people, and it was like a war zone to me. Who would you become if things got this bad? And that's what I think makes it stick with the young and the old, is it's not just about the dead walking around. They could be any type of obstruction. And that's what I thought was amazing. I'm gonna keep talking just to piss off Merle.
It's about who you think you would become in that situation.
Exactly, and that's what latched me in. It was such a great human story. And so, yeah, no, I don't watch zombie movies, sorry.
I'm gonna have to agree with Lou on Shaun of the Dead.
Okay, guy in the blue hat.
Yeah, my question for Sean. How do you like your character, more of an outcast or more with Rick and his son?
I think I like her as both, and I think she is both. I think she's alone together, and I like that. I think that actually is becoming her strength, is that she can be alone and together. You know she can walk out of there and survive, and you know that she can. Now you know that she can hang and she knows how to connect with people. I think that makes her quite formidable, and I really dig that.
Right on.
Right over here.
Daryl.
I love everybody. Everyone has their strengths, you know? Emily can sing for me, and Carol can comfort me, and Merle can piss me off, and the governor can make me want to kill him, and Rick, well, I won't talk about Rick, but they're also, everybody, Daryl can look all hot. Everyone has their purpose. I love it.
I think Norman Durrell is my guy. He can survive in the wilderness. God knows Merle taught him everything he knows, so he knows how to do that stuff. And he's actually learned how to deal with people. So being with this group, and I look up to that. I think he's doing a good job, and of course, I kind of like the little boy myself. I think he's really cool. I think he's gonna be.
Doesn't sound right.
No, it doesn't sound right. No, I think he's more of a man than some of those guys already there. Most of the men there, he's more of a man than most of them.
Hey, don't forget the walkers. They smoke. They really do it out there. They are working hard all the time. When they're off camera, they're still working. They're an inspiration to all of us. They really are.
I don't care much about them.
You guys have just phenomenal resumes in your history. I remember you from Mississippi Burning,
Me too.
Yeah. In cold blood.
got to doing these films that you were going to end up doing a whole show on zombies?
Never crossed my mind. I don't know.
No, I never even thought I'd ever be in a zombie movie. I didn't really care much about zombies. Back then, if I saw one, I'd chop its head off. So it don't matter. Yeah. Dirt bag. Chop its head right off.
Mr. Wilson. Right here.
I had a question for Mr. Wilson. Being in the classic movies you've been in, like, you know, Great Gatsby and The Heat of the Night, how does this experience not so much compare, but just how is it to jump onto a phenomenon like The Walking Dead and be a part of something like this?
This is like grabbing hold of a lion's tail. And this show moves. The actors are fantastic. Like Denai was saying, I saw the first season before I came on board, and I became a fan of the show because it really just, I loved the acting, I loved what all the actors were doing. I said I'd like to be a part of that. So it's fun, and I've enjoyed it. It's been a lot of fun.
Over here.
Do that.
Mr. Wilson, after the leg chopping scene, did you know how far advanced you're going to survive, or you're going to die for a little longer?
Well, it was quite a shock when you pick up the script and they said we're going to chop your leg off. And if you get bit on the leg, and you know that's a bite usually doesn't end up as well as it did with me. But yeah, you noticed it, and I tell you what, the cast that day were incredible. I mean, that was a long day, and from that bite on, the tempo just ratcheted up, and all the actors are just bringing it to that scene. Kept bringing it every scene, every take, boom, 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 right up to chopping the leg off. So it was an intense day. Intense day.
Okay. Right here.
It's pretty tough. They have a process called green screen that you put a green sock on your leg, and then they can shoot your leg, and then they shoot where you were, and they have a process that allows them to make it look like the leg's going. And also there's a lot of scenes where you're holding the leg back so it doesn't register on camera. So it's a pretty physical thing to do.
I was just saying, it must be difficult to pretend you only have one leg. You know, to walk like you only have one leg.
Yeah, but I'm graceful, I'm fast.
Well, I don't know. Hey, I wasn't sure, but do they tie your leg back, or do you have to hold it back, bro?
You have to hold it back.
That sucks. That's hard to do. Yeah, that would be really
It's not easy
That's
being
really
green. And it's expensive too, right, Scott?
That's right.
You're looking a lot like Santa Claus right now, too.
Do you want some mustache wax?
You better behave.
Okay. Along the wall here.
With such a wide range of ages that you guys have on the show, do you have any inspiring words for aspiring actors that we're going to get into this sort of scene?
Yeah, if you're going to do it, you're just going to lower your head and keep going. That's all. You'll find the way. There's no set way to approach it or go about it. You'll find your own way. You have to get involved in it, though, to find your own way.
My thing would be read out loud so that you can hear your voice and we can hear it too.
Right here.
Do you guys think if there was a real zombie apocalypse that you guys would be the same character as you are on the show?
Of course not. I'm going to give you a little suggestion. I would marry into some money.
In a real apocalypse, I would want to be with this group right here. These people know how to do it.
That's the best advice you're ever going to get, my man.
that question because then that would mean that I would be a zombie. So, being a zombie in the zombie apocalypse, I don't know how I would survive. I wonder if my family would kill me. I just don't know. If my family really
Well, you've already come back once.
Yeah, but I mean, like, who, like, how would I die? Like, if I were to become a zombie,
I'd probably kill you, don't worry about it.
Yeah, well, thank you for the compliment. Thank you so much.
I'd be quite similar to T-Dog. Yeah, I would be.
I'd walk around behind Lou all the time. I keep ducking. Sorry, Lou.
I would definitely be the same. I would be the same person because I'm the same person as my character.
I think I'd hang out with the slowest person on set.
Right here.
I'd like to direct this question to the legendary Scott Wilson. Mr. Wilson, I'm familiar with your resume of work. And I go back with Cold Blood with you and Robin Blayton.
Yeah.
Can you kindly share some of the great stars that you work with and some of the young audiences? Because your roster is one that needs to be reckoned with, and I can't see a better way to punctuate Monster's birthday of 10 years with the lineup of great stars that we have today, and to have a legendary Scott Wilson.
Start right down there and just work your way across.
I just want to say, I mean, this is the best. I've been coming here for 10 years. It gets better every year. And all I want to say, Mr. Hagen, you're topping yourself every time. You're giving great shows, and we're going to keep coming.
Thank you. 10 years ago, I would have never dreamed of something like this, to be honest with you. And to be sitting up here with the cast of my favorite show is just such an honor. It's amazing. Favorite show of all time. Everybody complains about how things are, you know, in modern times and compared to how things used to be. Man, the golden age of television is right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right here.
Which character do you wish was still around?
I have to say.
He shot me, so why would I want him around?
I still have to say T-Dog.
Yeah, I second that.
He was always like the quiet one and was always nice to everybody. And then like a zombie bit him and everyone